Hi, I'm Patrice Thatcher-Stephens, the Program Coordinator for Child Development and Early Education at College of the Siskiyous. And if you're watching this video clip, it's probably because you're in one of my classes this semester and you've been told to go to YouTube and watch a video clip on child guidance and adult-child interaction styles. This is a short video clip to give a little bit of context to a concept that we're talking about in your class. So in this instance, I'm looking at adult-child interaction styles in the context of child guidance, because we all know from classes that you've taken with me that the best kind of child guidance is guidance that is positive. It's looking at the child as the best person he or she can be. It's authoritative, and we'll get to that because that's the real part that applies to the adult-child interaction styles. It's developmentally appropriate, which means we know enough child development to know what the child can understand cognitively, how they can control and apply their emotions psychosocially, and it is learning-based. Child guidance is about learning. It's not about training. It's not about manipulation. It's about what the child is able to learn from the environment that they're in at the developmental stage that they're at. So the first thing I want to define is authoritative. When an adult is an authoritative figure in a child's life, whether they're a parent or an early educator or a teacher, the adult is positive and responsive and makes their expectations clear. Positive is pretty much self-explanatory. Instead of yelling across the room, "Stop that!" we walk over to the child and we say something like, "How can I help you? Can we make this work? What can I do to make this work for you?" Responsive means that when the child needs our attention, or when a situation needs us to be there, then we are there. We're not off in the corner looking at our cell phone. We're not even taking notes about the child's development so we can finish our DRDP. And we're not busy talking to other adults. And making our expectations clear means that the child knows what the expectations are, that it's not some sort of guessing game where they are trying to satisfy us without knowing what it is that we have asked them to do or what is expected of them in this situation. So that's the definition of an authoritative adult. When we talk about developmentally appropriate practice, we mean that what we do with kids, whether they're our own kids, whether they're the children in our early education program, or whether they're the children in our primary elementary school classroom, whatever we do is based on understanding and knowledge of child development. We set up the environment based on what we know about the stage of development that children are typically in, or children are individually in, or what is developmentally appropriate for a child's culture. There are various elements of positive child guidance. The elements belong in two categories: responsiveness and demandingness. And it's really important to know that it's not responsiveness is all good and demandingness is all bad. Both responsiveness and demandingness can be either a positive thing or a not positive thing. Positive responsiveness is a relationship between an adult and a child where you talk together, where the adult actually listens and isn't just waiting to tell the child what to do next, where the adult responds to the child's comments, both because what the child says, what the child does is important, and because when we model responding to what somebody has said, we're literally modeling responding to what somebody has said. So the child's learning that, that's how humans interact with each other. The other side of the coin, the demandingness, means that in the best of situations, we set reasonable limits, we monitor their behavior, we follow through on requests, comments, rules. So the limits that we have are reasonable, which usually means that they're developmentally, individually, and culturally appropriate. We monitor their behaviors. We don't wait until somebody bites somebody to swoop in and grab somebody and say, "Don't bite your friend." We're watching. And when a situation with a couple of 2.5-year-olds, which usually 2.5-year-olds, gets to a point where they need an adult to intervene, or they need someone to come stand close by and put their arm around them, we're there. We prevent things from happening just by our presence or by our intervention. Following through on requests, and this also goes along with monitoring. When a parent says, "Clean your room," and then goes back to their cell phone, or even goes back to cooking dinner or grading papers or all those really important things that we have to do, and the child is in their room, cleaning their room, you often come back and their room's not clean. And of course, we would love it if our kids knew what our definition of clean the room was. They should know by the time they're 12, 15, 11. But when they're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if we say clean their room, we walk in and we give them some specific tasks to do. And then, by George, if you got to grade your papers, I know from experience, you can sit down in their doorway with your papers on your lap and you can grade your papers while they're cleaning their room. And you can say, oh, thank you for getting those clothes in a pile. We'll put them in the laundry next. Or you can say, yeah, the blocks go in there. You're right. Oh, could you pick up the game that we're playing in that corner? It goes over there. We're there to monitor. We're there to follow through on requests. These attributes determine caregiving styles. There's a researcher whose name is Baumrind, and the different categories of adult interaction or parenting styles are based on our responsiveness and our demandingness. We'll get back to adult interaction styles after one more important comment. If we looked at all the factors in adult-child interactions, you probably know that relationships are what learning is based on, what respect is based on, what society is based on. And another researcher, whose last name is Becker, said that warmth, a feeling of goodwill, a feeling of caring, is probably the most important factor in adult-child relationships. So I think I asked that on a quiz someplace. I know I asked that on quizzes in some places in my classes. I also asked that on midterms and finals. I described situations, and if you can identify that what this adult is doing is showing or not showing warmth, then you are illustrating Becker's theory. Okay, we talk about an axis of demandingness and responsiveness. There are high demanding parenting styles. There are low demanding parenting styles. There are parenting styles that show high responsiveness and parenting styles that show low responsiveness. Probably in the class that you're taking from me, I have at some point in lecture shown you an axis with high demandingness up top, low demandingness down below, high responsiveness to the left, and low responsiveness to the right. These attributes, high demandingness and low demandingness, correspond with different parenting styles. I spoke about one parenting style earlier in this little clip, and that was the authoritative parenting style. We're going to get to that last as I go through the list. The first parenting style, not first because it's best, but first because Baumrind puts it first, is the authoritative parenting style. Oh my gosh. I wish I could rewind and redo the audio on this, but I'll say it clearly. The first parenting style I'll talk about is the authoritarian parenting style. It's the my way or the highway parenting style. You may have grown up with it. You've probably seen it at least somewhere in your life. This parenting style has high demandingness. This is the way you've got to do it all the time. I say it, you do it. It also has low responsiveness. Not a lot of talking about it, not a lot of negotiation, not a lot of monitoring, not a lot of rewarding, or a lot of correction. Just a my way, high demandingness, or the highway, low responsiveness. Turn my back on you. If you're not going to do it my way, I'm not going to deal with you. Authoritarian parenting style. You probably know someone. The next parenting style that we talk about is the permissive parenting style. The permissive parenting style can be the parent who really, really wants the kid to be their best friend. Because if I want you to be my best friend, I don't really want to be the grown-up. I don't want you to be mad at me because I tell you to do something. I don't want you to think that I'm the bad guy ever, but I'm pretty responsive to you. So while authoritarian parents are high demandingness and low responsiveness, the permissive parent is low demandingness. I'm not going to make the rules because I don't want to be the grown-up. And high responsiveness. I want to talk to you a lot. I'll tell you all about my life. I'll listen about your life. I'll make jokes with you, appropriate or inappropriate, about people that you know. I want you to be my friend. I don't necessarily want to be the grown-up. Next parenting style, sort of like the permissive, but not as responsive. The uninvolved parenting style, or the uninvolved adult-child interaction style. Low demandingness, not going to make very many rules. Low responsiveness, not going to respond to you very much either. The weird thing about the uninvolved parenting style is it can be the person who's really dedicated to their work, or in the real world, someone who has to have so many jobs because they're just trying to help this family survive. A person who leaves the kids with a nanny or leaves the kids alone. The person who really doesn't have time to set any rules, who just figures they'll be fine, I gotta do my stuff. Whether that stuff includes working 3 jobs, God bless the parents that do that, working one very high-powered job, pretty impressive sometimes for parents who do that, or being stoned in the other room. Uninvolved, low demandingness. Also low responsiveness. You're not there, you're tired out, or you're stoned in the other room. So uninvolved isn't as responsive as the permissive parenting style. At least the parent with the child in the permissive parenting style, or the adult with the child in the permissive adult-child interaction style, has a relationship. The uninvolved adult really doesn't. Okay, 4th on the list is the authoritative parenting style. High demandingness sets really clear rules and expectations, but also really high responsiveness. Negotiates, talks about, I might have the expectation that you are home every night for dinner at 6 o'clock because my partner and I get dinner ready for you, and if we get dinner ready for you, you're going to show up and we're going to have a family dinner. However, if you're at a friend's house doing homework, I'll negotiate. I'll talk to the friend's parent. I'll monitor. I will follow through. I will pick you up at a time where I say I'm going to pick you up. But maybe that night you don't have to be home for dinner at 6 o'clock. As one of my students, who's now a teacher in West Sacramento, I think, said, authoritative parenting style, why is it that the right answer is always the hard one to do? It's the hard one to do because it asks more of us. It's also the easy one to do because the kids that we interact with get easier and easier because they become more and more independent because we've done our job. So the authoritative parenting style is the right answer. Okay, I'm going to add one more caveat to adult-child interaction styles or parenting styles, and that caveat is that kids are all different. Some kids will do fine with the authoritarian my way or the highway parent. Some kids won't because they'll be too scared or they'll be too driven to just do what they need to do no matter what. Some kids will do fine with the permissive parent or the uninvolved parent. The thing about the authoritative parenting style is most kids will do better with the authoritative parent or adult interaction style. So that's me giving a little bit of context for adult interaction styles or parenting styles for the ECE class that you're in and got sent here from to watch this video clip. Thank you. Bye-bye.